Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest challenges for any leader, motivation. We're going to break down what really drives your team, and I'll give you a hint, it goes way, way beyond just a salary and some perks. Let's dive in.
It's a question every manager has probably asked themselves, right? You've got two people on the exact same team with the same job, but one is just firing on all cylinders while the other one is just kind of there. So what's the hidden factor? What are we missing?
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start by looking at motivation as a kind of puzzle. Then, I'll introduce the key to solving it, Maslow's famous pyramid. We're going to climb all 5 levels together, see how to take this from theory to actual practice. And finally, we'll wrap up by showing you why this is the true foundation of any successful team.
All right, so let's start with this whole motivation puzzle. Unlocking your team's performance isn't about finding one single magic bullet. It's about understanding all those complex, hidden drivers that make people want to show up and bring their A game to work.
And believe it or not, the answer, the framework that helps us crack this thing, is actually surprisingly simple and elegant. It's a 5-level pyramid. And yeah, it's a concept that was developed decades ago, but it is more relevant today than ever before. So what is this powerful framework we're talking about? Well, it comes from the psychologist Abraham Maslow, and it's called the hierarchy of needs. You can think of this as the ultimate roadmap for what every single person in your organization is fundamentally looking for.
Okay, so the core idea here is really simple, but it's also pretty profound. Maslow said we all have these 5 basic categories of needs, and here's the crucial part. You can't really motivate someone with a higher level need, like personal growth, if a lower level need, like just feeling secure in their job, isn't met first. You've got to build from the ground up.
All right, time to start our climb. In this next section, we're going to take these big psychological ideas and translate them into the everyday reality of your workplace. This is where we take the theory off the page and put it to work. So here they are, the 5 levels we're going to walk through, starting from the very bottom of the pyramid and going all the way to the top. Basically, this is the journey every single one of your employees is on, whether they know it or not. Okay, let's start at the very bottom. Level 1, physiological needs. This is the bedrock. We're talking about the absolute, non-negotiable basics for human survival. Before we can even think about anything else, these needs have to be met.
So how does that translate to the workplace? Well, it's pretty straightforward. Are you paying your people a fair wage so they can live without constant financial stress? And is their workspace comfortable and functional, a place where they can actually focus? It all starts right here.
Okay, once those basic survival needs are covered, we move up to the next level, safety. This is that deep-seated need we all have to feel secure, to have stability, and to know that we're not in any kind of danger. It's all about predictability and order.
In a business setting, this means things like providing job security, a work environment that's physically and psychologically safe, free from harassment, and of course, essential benefits, like health insurance. If you don't have this, your employees are always going to be operating from a place of anxiety.
All right, now that we feel safe, we can climb to level 3, social needs. And let's face it, we are social creatures, right? We have this fundamental need to belong, to build relationships, and to feel like we're part of a community. And that's why a great company culture isn't just some fluffy, nice-to-have. It's absolutely essential for meeting a core human need. It's where team bonding events and real collaboration make all the difference. Honestly, this is a huge challenge in a remote world, which means leaders have to be more intentional than ever about creating real connection.
Moving on up, we hit level 4, esteem. So we feel like we belong. Now what? Now we want to feel valued. This is all about earning respect from our peers, getting recognition for the work we do, and building a real sense of achievement.
And this is exactly where things like your recognition programs come into play. Think promotions, public shout-outs in a team meeting for a job well done, or maybe some formal awards. All of these things tap into this incredibly powerful motivator. It tells an employee, your work matters, and we see you.
And here we are, at the very top of the pyramid. Level 5, self-actualization. This is that deep human drive to become the very best version of ourselves, to use our talents to the absolute fullest, to keep growing, and to do work that feels truly purposeful.
You know, this is a huge one for younger generations, who consistently say that purpose is one of their top priorities. A company that really helps its employees reach this level by giving them challenging work, autonomy, and a clear connection to a bigger mission, that's a company that keeps its A players. Okay, so we've made it to the top of the pyramid. But now for maybe the most important part. How do you, as a manager, a leader, or an HR professional, actually use this stuff? Let's get practical.
It really breaks down like this. Managers, you're on the front lines. You got to figure out where each person on your team is. Is someone worried about their contract renewal? That's a safety need. Is someone asking for a bigger, more complex project? That's self-actualization. HR teams, your job is to build the systems, like compensation, benefits, and wellness programs, that support every single level. And leaders, your job is to create the whole environment, the culture, where people feel not just able, but encouraged to keep on climbing. Just look at a company like Google, for example. They have this incredibly layered approach. The famous free meals, that's covering basic physiological needs. Their 20% time to work on passion projects, that is pure self-actualization. But hey, you don't need Google's budget to do this. A small startup can do it by creating an amazing sense of team camaraderie and giving junior employees huge ownership over projects. The principle is the exact same. Understand the pyramid and be strategic.
All right, let's pull all of this together. Why does this matter so much? Because meeting these fundamental human needs isn't some separate HR initiative. It's the very thing that drives performance.
Here's the bottom line. Think about it. You can't expect someone to be wildly creative and innovative if they're up at night worried about paying their rent or if they feel unsafe at work. It's just not going to happen. By securing the foundation of that pyramid, you free people up to aim higher and to unleash their full potential. And that's how great leaders turn a simple job into a real journey of growth.
So, I'll leave you with this final, really important question. Take a moment and think about your own team, or even your whole organization. Where are they really on this pyramid? And more importantly, what's one thing you can do tomorrow to help them take that next step up?